Yayoi Kusama, a name that has become synonymous with bold, psychedelic art, unrelenting creativity, and an ever expanding universe of dots, mirrors, and endless reflections. But the story of Kusama's rise to global art stardom is one of resilience, reinvention, and a passion to push the boundaries of what art can be. Born in 1929 in Matsumoto, Japan, Kusama's early life was marked by both hardship and beauty. She came from a broken home, her mother was distant, and her father's infidelities left an emotional scars. As a result, Kusama often found solace in her imagination. Drawing from a young age, it was through her art that she began to process the world around her, a world she sometimes found difficult to understand. In her early years, Kusama experimented with painting, drawing, and even creating sculptures. However, it was the act of repetition that truly began to define her work. By the 1950s, she was already exploring the concept of infinity through visual patterns, a motif that will go on to dominate her art for decades. It was when she moved to New York City in 1957 that her career truly began to evolve. In New York, the art world was bursting with innovation. Abstract expressionism, pop art, and minimalism were transforming the scene. Artists like Jackson Pollock, Andy Warhol, and Donald Judd were leading the charge, and Kusama, with her unique vision, dove into this creative maelstrom. But she was also searching for something deeply personal, a way to escape from the overwhelming feelings of isolation and anxiety that had haunted her. It was during this time that Kusama had begun to develop her now signature motif, polka dots. But these were not just playful spots, they were symbols, symbols of infinity, the infinite expanse of the universe, and her own battle with mental health. The dots for Kusama were a way of confronting her obsession with repetition and order, creating a sense of control in a world she often felt was out of control. Kusama didn't stop at painting. She became known for her avant-garde performances and installations, like her Infinity Nest, vast paintings covered in meticulous dots that seemed to stretch on forever. She also began creating a large-scale immersive works, like her famous Infinity Rooms. This installation used mirrors and lights to create the illusion of boundless space, giving the viewer a sense of being enveloped in an endless universe. In these immersive works, Kusama invited viewers to experience the world of repetition, reflection, and infinite space. The sensory overload of these environments reflect her personal struggle with mental health, but they also convey a sense of wonder, the overwhelming beauty of the universe, and the paradox of trying to grasp something so vast and unknowable. In the 1960s and early 70s, Kusama's work began to gain recognition. She exhibited alongside some of the most prominent artists of the time, like Andy Warhol and Claes Oldenburg. But despite her increasing fame, she still felt marginalized, both as a woman in a male dominated art world and as an outsider due to her Japanese heritage. In her work, Kusama confronted her sense of alienation, but she also celebrated her individuality, turning into a source of strength. By the 1970s, Kusama faced a crisis, feeling profound sense of exhaustion and personal despair. She voluntarily checked herself into a psychiatric hospital in Japan. where she would live for the remainder of her life. Despite this, Kusama's creative spirit never waned. In fact, this spirit marked the continuation of her relentless pursuit of artistic expression. She kept working, producing art, and evolving her ideas. During the 1980s and 1990s, Kusama began to focus on new themes. Her iconic pumpkins, with their bulbous, dotted surfaces, became one of her most enduring symbols. These pumpkins, which Kusama described as a symbol of happiness, represent her connection to nature and her belief in the power of transformation. The works were both whimsical and profound, playful, yet deeply rooted in her own emotional and psychological experiences. Kusama's work exploded in popularity in the 21st century. Exhibitions in major museums and galleries around the world, from the Tate Modern to the Guggenheim, attracted millions of visitors. Her trademark use of dots, mirrors, and her infinite rooms became a global sensation, often making headlines with record breaking attendance. But even as Kusama's fame grew, her core message remained unchanged. Art for her was an act of survival. Today, at 95, Kusama is regarded as one of the most important living artists in the world. Her works continue to inspire generations of artists, architects, and designers. She has created not only a distinctive aesthetic, but a philosophy, one that celebrates life, individuality, and the infinite possibilities of human imagination.